Hey, this is Tyler with East TN Stories, and I'm here in Market Square with some concerned citizens concerned about gun violence. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what this event's about?
Hey, I'm Mari Brooks. I'm one of the organizers. Turn to her, please. This is Tammy Summers. She was in the Unitarian Church when the gunman fired at people and hit her. And then to her left is Kim Ferreira and her son Jack. Jack and his friend Izzy Brown were the ones who brought this to the fore. We had a rally here on April 18th with 500 people, and they called on Sunday night and said, we're tired of having to live like this. So we want to have a rally from a teen's perspective to enable our legislature to have common sense gun laws.
Absolutely. Do you want to tell us a little more about your experience?
Well, yes, I was a victim of the shooting that happened in Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. I was shot in the head, and that's been almost 15 years ago, and things are far worse now than they were then, which is so disheartening that that's where we are. And honestly, I was asked to come speak today by Izzy Brown, who I've known her since she was a kindergartner. I mean, I've known her, I met her after I was shot, but I've known her all these years, and just inspired that the teens are stepping up and trying. I feel like their energy really is going to matter for us as we're trying to make something happen, because it seems impossible.
Their voices are important. Our next person is Kim Ferrara, a teacher at West High.
Yeah, what inspired me, obviously, are my children and my students who are just like my children. About 2 months ago, my son came home and he said, Mom, what would you do if a shooter came into your school? And I didn't say anything because I knew what I was thinking, and that would be protect my students who are like my own. And probably about 3 seconds later, he's like, Mom, Faith and I need you to come home to us. And what do you say to that?
Yeah, it really is an impossible position that the teachers are put in, trying to bear that responsibility, that you have no control over what goes on outside.
Absolutely. I'm Jack, and I am tired of having to go to school every day, thinking that's going to be the last time that I see both of my parents.
Yeah, good point. Well, will you tell us a little more about how this event came together?
Well, it was because of the teenagers. We wanted to have another event, but we thought it was going to be a Moral Monday with the people who did that in Nashville a couple weeks ago. But this came up, and I thought, this is perfect. Mm-hmm. This is perfect. I think we need to. Do you all agree? I think we need to be doing something every couple weeks until the legislature meets in July to make something happen. If we don't say anything, nothing's gonna happen. Testing and keep this in the public view, especially in our legislators' eyes. Nothing is gonna happen in this state, okay? Nothing. And our students deserve way better than this. Deserve way better. Our 3 priorities, we would like some other things to happen, but our 3 priorities are right here. We need and actually Governor Lee proposed some of these already. Red flag laws. They're extreme orders of protection to take weapons from people who are a danger to themselves or others. The second one is safe storage of weapons. Children are getting their parents' guns and killing their siblings by mistake or committing suicide. If people lock up their weapons, Mayor Kincannon said there's a rash of car theft, car break-ins, where people are breaking into cars just to get weapons. If they were locked in the glove compartment, locked in the trunk, they would not be so available. And these guns are used in crimes and can't be traced. Very dangerous. What's our third thing, Keith? Close the background check loopholes, okay? You can buy an AR-15 at a gun show with no background check. This is unacceptable. Those are weapons of war. It is unacceptable. And these have been proposed. Thank you. All right. Can I hear a yes on that? Common sense gun laws. Let's a sign that says every day in the USA, 12 children die from gun violence. That's more than die from accidents or from cancer. This is an epidemic. You know, we've got to do something. Enough is enough. Say it. Enough is enough. Say it. Enough is enough. 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 All right. I see another one out there. Protect lives, not guns. Should we say it? Protect lives, not guns. 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 Protect lives.
Can I ask a question?
Another, yeah.
Are you guys for the banning of any, what you would call an assault-style rifle?
Okay, we are for safe storage, background checks, and red flag laws for folks who are a danger to themselves and others. That's what we're for.
Safe storage.
I didn't say safe storage.
Action now!
Action now! Action now! Action now! Action now!
I mean, I'm all for it.
Action now!
Wait 3 days for my
Action now! Action now! Action now! Action now! Action now! Action now! Action now!
Thank you for your question. Thank you.
About.
There ain't no catching no conversation, man. You gotta have these you have to.
We're passionate about what we're doing.
No more
That's why we're all here
silence.
together.
End gun violence.
No
more silence. End gun violence. No more silence. 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 End gun violence. 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 Okay. This rally was inspired by teenagers who had it with what's going on and the lockdown and all that. I would like to introduce Izzy Brown, a senior at LNN.
Hello everyone, my name is Izzy. I'm a Knox County High School student and my parents are both educators. One of them is a Knox County Schools teacher. Since as early as I can remember being in school, I've been told what to do in case of a shooting. Drop to the ground, run in a zigzag line, run, hide, fight. This is something that no child should have to hear when they are in school. I've spent years of my life, since age 5, doing hard lockdown drills and preparing for the worst at school. I remember sitting in class from some of my earliest childhood memories of sitting in class or thinking at recess while I was on the playground, thinking in my head through scenarios of what if. What if an active shooter entered my school right now? How would I escape? Where would I hide? Is my second grade English textbook strong enough to protect me from a bullet? What if my classmate took the gun from under their parents' bed where they thought it was hidden safely and brought it to school for show and tell, or because they were mad at another kid? What if the next lockdown isn't just a drill? And the worst part, this is not an isolated experience. This is not something that just I have gone through. This is something that every student in America has gone through and has had to think about at more than one point, I can guarantee you. No child should ever be put in danger or be at risk of being in danger, especially at school where they are supposed to be safe, protected, and able to focus on learning.
Let's give that a cheer!
And no parent should worry when they send their kids to kindergarten if their child doesn't come home to them safely or not.
That's right.
Tens of thousands are lost to gun violence every year in the United States, and gun-related deaths continue to rise. Over half of gun deaths are suicide. preventable. And gun-related deaths of children and teens ages 1 to 19 have doubled from 2019 to 2021 and continue to rise. Active shooter incidents have nearly tripled in the past decade. There is no doubt that we are now at a crisis point with gun violence in America. It's our responsibility to ensure that there is a solution enacted, especially in our state. It is up to us to vote for legislators who will listen to us and do the right thing for our future, passing laws that will protect us, not guns. And we need to vote for people and contact our representatives and let them know how we feel. We need to make our voices heard. We deserve to live in peace, knowing that our lives will not be put at risk, and we have a responsibility to ensure that the children of tomorrow do not have to live in fear of meeting the fate that children do today. Thank you. Fear has no place in schools. Fear has no place in schools.
Fear has no place in schools. Fear has no place in schools. Fear has no place in schools. Fear has no place in schools.
Fear has no place in schools.
Fear has no place in schools.
Fear has no place in schools.
Let's give her a hand. Okay, I'd like to introduce Laura Davis and her son Maverick. Laura is a history teacher at West High School, a beloved history teacher who has taken it upon herself to try to make a difference with all of us. Give her a hand.
Hello everybody, my name is Laura Davis and I am a history teacher at West High School. I'm also a single mom to this beautiful son of mine named Maverick, who's a first grader. And he's going to be a second grader. And when I was asked to, this is something I'm hugely passionate about because every morning I have two fears. Once when I drop my son off at his school thinking, am I going to come home to him today? Am I going to get to see him? Is he going to come home to me? And then once when I pull up to my school, sitting in my parking lot, ready to go in to see my students, am I going to come home to him? It's a scary world that we live in with lockdowns, with drills, and then me looking into my own students' eyes who are 16, 17, 18 years old, and seeing the fear in their eyes when we have lockdowns and when we have situations that we're luckily prepared for because we've had to get prepared for. This is something we should have never had to think about. I should be teaching about history of our nation, of our great nation, and not thinking about how to protect my kids if something were to happen. Telling them to put their backpacks in front of them and huddle in the corner of the room and stay absolutely silent in a drill. Thinking about those parent square messages that I get from my son's school when an accident happens or when something happens. It's scary, and we can't handle this anymore. Together we can do something. Together we have to do something. We cannot keep living this way. Doing nothing is not an option. Doing nothing is not an option. Doing nothing is not an option. Doing nothing is not an option.
Doing nothing is not an option. Doing nothing is not an option.
Doing nothing is not an option. Doing nothing is not an option. Common sense gun laws. Common sense gun laws. Common sense gun laws. Common sense gun laws. to our families.
Yes.
Let's give her a hand. It's now my pleasure to introduce Tammy Summers. I'll just let you tell your story, Tammy.
I come here today because I've known Izzy Brown since she was a kindergartner, and what she knows about me is that I was the victim of the shooting that happened at TVUC in 2008. I was shot in the head, and it was a tough thing for my family to go through. We live a life, our whole life. My boys were 3 and 5. Our life is not what it would have been had we not gone through that. It's caused a lot of work that we've had to do through our lives. And then my boys go on to be scared of every situation they step into, whether that be school or college or whatever. Because the problem is, since that happened in 2008, things are far worse now than they were then. And to imagine what my family's been through, what we've gone through, and then so many other people. I mean, it really has, mass shootings have tripled since that time. And for us, I just am so inspired by the energy that this generation is bringing. And it gives me faith that we can make change, because we have to make change. We don't have a choice. So thank you so much for the work you're doing, and definitely want to be behind you guys on that. So being a victim of a shooting, I mean, that's just not no life anybody wants to live. Going into school and college or wherever with fear, that's not how any of us want to live. So, end gun violence. 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 Here's a scary statistic. Since Columbine in 1999, over 350,000 children have been in schools where there was a mass shooting. Now, they certainly weren't all shot, but those are terrible. That's lives changed in not a good way. 350,000 children have endured the fear of someone shooting in their school. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. So we count on all of you to keep coming. The legislature is going to meet around the 4th of July. I think we need to gather here a couple more times, because if we let it slide, they're going to let it slide. The gun lobby gives Marsha Blackburn $1 million when she campaigns. $1 million. I don't have $1 million, right? You know, so they've got to quit listening to the gun lobbies and listen to their constituents. Over 75% of Tennesseans support common sense gun laws. Democrats and Republicans. It's not partisan. Common sense gun laws. 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 Common sense gun laws.
And obviously, you're in a friendly crowd, they're going to complain on you. It's going to be a video. Well, I mean, I understand. I'll take it off, but I also have the right to hear it. No, yeah, that's not in question. Angry at me doesn't determine.
No,
right.
I will.
Right, but
we're not saying anything about you being here. We're just talking about the stickers.
Completely get it.
Because then we have to have city works come down here and pay them money to take the stuff off.
My dad was an officer for 16 years.
Everybody has the right of freedom of speech. Yes.
constitutional right to bear arms. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you guys understand my family in Poland was massacred by people who claimed to do gun control. I don't want people to die by government genocide. Have a good day.